I'll just take it from the point of, we know what Harriet Tubman's legacy was. As a visual artist, I'm a graphic designer who's done work in publications, and done a lot of corporate work. But when it comes to our history, I've done work for other people, but when it comes to our history, it's up to us, as the community says, it's in our power to continue the legacy of those before us. No better example than Harriet Tubman. So we did a show before with Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass, his history similar in some ways. I look at it, he was above ground and she was underground. He was out in the day, she was out in the night. She navigated in the darkness for freedom, right? So as a visual artist, it wasn't so much, I'm gonna do Harriet Tubman, how am I gonna do Harriet Tubman? Freedom Train is the moniker for the show, but I took it in several ways. First, I just did a timeline just to give a timeline history, so some of that stuff is over there. Then I just highlighted some points of her life. I'm not going to go through everything about her life because we all pretty much know anyway, but she wore disguises. So I wanted to show a different approach to her doing the disguises. They say she carried chickens. Artistic license told me I thought if I had her carrying a basket of chickens, it would make it more dramatic. Although I didn't read that she did carry them in a basket, but this says it a little way. You know, Harriet Tubman was a nurse. You know that. The pain of slavery, whatever they went through, our people, there was an agony. They were always being chased, hunted at night, rewards put out for them, but they still persevered. This piece is called The Pain of Slavery to illustrate that. It's sort of a construction out of wood and clay. There's angst in their faces. They're not happy people. So just showing you what the angst of slavery is, I thought I would show it that way. But this was always drumbeat for them. Somebody's chasing them, and they're trying to find freedom. Even when it got to the promised land, they still had to look over their shoulder. This piece is called Kimbei. It's called the Kimbei River Raid in South Carolina, where they freed, with the help of the Union Army and black troops, they freed over 700 slaves. So this is an important piece to me because it talked about how she was a scout, and this woman was a key part of that freedom effort. Most of the prints you see of her are her escaping through the woods, which is pretty standard, so I think that's important. One of the things I really liked about doing this piece was to hone in on some specifics, like Harriet had to hunt for her food out in the woods. I may catch a train in New York, sit in a seat, read a book. No. Harriet had to hunt to get that food, to get to New York, to get to Philly. So the piece over there, the hunt, a simple piece, lino cut. This is a simple print. She's got the rabbit. It says, I got my food for the day. Simple illustration, I thought, says that. The other thing about Harriet Tubman I tried to illustrate was nobody really talked about her romantic life. I mean, she had 2 husbands. She lived till 90, in her 90s. So the way I wanted to show it was, I called it Tubman love. That simple print, I had her in this blooming dress, and she's in a romantic moment. I didn't want to say which husband, but it probably was her first husband. But the idea of this diminutive woman still had a life, not just running in the woods. She had love in her life. So I wanted to emphasize that too. That's something I really want to make a point of. So that's why I called it Tubman love. Like, you get it. Other than that, they're just standard prints. one of the prints I wanted to bring to your attention, I'm glad they put the graphics together. The people that supported her, the abolitionists in her life, mostly white, there were some black ones too, but these abolitionists were very key in helping her throughout her life. When she bought her land up in Auburn, New York, I forget which one of these guys, I think it was Seward. Seward might have been the one that sold her the land. So I just wanted to, with graphic design, you can kind of bring a point together just through typing graphics. So they were clever about putting the graphics together because it's a certain style of presentation, just type and art and visuals. So these images represented that. This particular underground railroad route just showed very graphic charting of her route from Dorchester to Canada. Again, a very simplified map. The historians can knock me a little bit. Did I hit that point? Brenda, where are you? Anyway. Okay, my friends up. They can say anything. So, and the other thing I did too was I tried to show in some of these prints some of her quotes. And this piece is a poster that you all have. It's the one that says, "I was the conductor of the Underground Railroad for 8 years. I can say what most conductors can't say. I never ran my train off the track, and I never lost a passenger." I mean, everybody knows this, but I think it's kind of cool to encapsulate some of her things in an image like that. So I tried to make a point of showing some of her quotations in a graphic presentation. When I crossed the line, I was free, but I was there, no one to welcome me when I got there. So you get there, you still got to work on your freedom. So